Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
When I say
Good morning.
I would say right
Good
now,
morning.
but if you, the JSF is the definition of a true.
All right, thank you for joining
It's a
us this
product,
morning.
it's not an
If I could
alternative.
ask everyone to go
And
ahead
the
and
only
mute their
vendor
mic.
to supply is a company. So when we get ready to renew.
Perfect, thank you. We will allow some time for questions at the end of our presentation this morning. My name is Crystal Lale, and I am the proud principal of Elizabeth Lane, and I'm really excited to be here with you this morning to welcome you to our school and give you some information about starting kindergarten. We also have our facilitator, K2 facilitator, Amanda Daniels, with us, and she'll be joining in about halfway through the presentation to help with sharing the information about kindergarten. If you have any questions as we go through, if you'll just keep a little note, or you can even go ahead and add them in the chat, and then we will come back to those questions at the end of the presentation. We are recording this meeting this morning so that we can share it with other families who weren't able to attend. All right, can someone give me a thumbs up or a reaction if you are able to see kindergarten family information on the screen? Great, thank you so much. First of all, we want to welcome you to the Elizabeth Lane family. And at Elizabeth Lane, our mission is that all children are valued and respected members of the ELE family. We support our students' diverse needs with high expectations for academic growth. We want to let you get started with some words from our kindergarten students.
Advice do you have for future kindergartners?
If you don't have like a friend to play at recess, you can make a new friend. If you don't know a friend that you know from preschool, you can make a new friend.
What's really important that you're doing in kindergarten?
I'm learning about plants, how they grow and grow and grow.
What is the most important thing you do all day in kindergarten?
Work all day.
What are you proud of yourself for?
Being good at math.
What is your favorite part of kindergarten?
Recess.
Why?
Because
What are you proud of yourself for?
I learned to read.
What is your favorite lunch?
Pizza.
How did you learn to get to class?
I just learned because it's 600 hot and it's a orange square.
Good job. What about you, Raven?
I knew that there was, when I came to my classroom, there was popcorn over here, and then I remembered it, and then I saw the popcorn, so then I went to my classroom.
Good.
That one. At open house, my dad taught me how to walk to school.
What is your favorite part of kindergarten?
My classroom, because it's so fun and nice.
What does the principal do?
She works hard for ELE to be nice and clean, and she works hard for us to work hard.
What is a morning meeting?
A morning meeting is when you come in and talk about what you have good things going on, and in our class we give to say good morning, and it's really fun doing it.
What makes you really happy at school?
Learning.
What should you never forget to bring to school?
A backpack, a binder, and your lunch and your snack.
Grown-ups need to know about school.
To bring a note if they change, if you're poor, you can change your car.
What should all kindergartners know?
That Elizabeth Lane is nice, and that you don't have to be scared because the teachers are nice.
There's no one better to tell you about kindergarten than our current kindergarten students. We also know that it takes a special person to teach kindergarten, and our team is the best. This is a picture of our current kindergarten teachers, and they do an outstanding job of welcoming students to school, helping them feel safe and comfortable. And they also have talent with helping parents in the transition to kindergarten. I know whenever you guys first were signing on, I saw several familiar faces, but also lots of new faces. And so we want you to know that our team will help you as you adjust to the transition of your child starting school as well. This is our school's leadership team. So in addition to myself, we have Nikki Guevara, who is our assistant principal, Amanda Daniels, the kindergarten through second grade facilitator, and Eve Walwork, who is the third through fifth grade facilitator. And you may have memories about what the school administrators were like from when you were in school, but most likely times have changed quite a bit since you were in school. And so our role is really to make sure that all of the students in our school are learning and that our school culture is supportive of students and their needs. At our school, our shared beliefs are that children learn best when they feel loved, safe, and know that mistakes are expected. And we model this for our students by being patient with them and also ask that our families extend that same courtesy to us. We know that everyone makes mistakes sometimes, and it is our goal to have really strong communication and make sure that we're staying on top of things. But when issues come up, we ask that you just stay in communication with us and trust that we are going to help meet the needs of our students. I also want to remind you about our family tour tomorrow evening, and this is the opportunity for you to bring your incoming kindergartner with you for a special tour that's designed for our kindergarten families. If you have not had the chance to RSVP for the family tour, you can use your phone to scan that QR code so that you can add your RSVP. And if you will include your child's preferred name, if it's different than their legal name, and also let us know how many members of your family will be attending with you, that will help us be prepared for our tour groups tomorrow night. I'm going to share a little bit of information about the first week of school, but know that you will also get information over the summer and in the fall to help you feel ready for the first few days of school. Our school hours are 7:45 a.m. to 2:45 p.m., and students may begin entering the building beginning at 7:15 a.m. So between 7:15 to 7:45, that's our arrival process, and students are being dropped off in cars, dropped off on the buses, or walking to school with a family member. And during that time, breakfast is also available for all students at no charge, beginning at 7:15 a.m. in the cafeteria. And this is a universal program throughout all CMS schools. And you will receive more information with details about how students access lunch and breakfast and all of the information that you'll need for the first week of school about 2 weeks before the beginning of the school year. That will include information about an open house when you'll be able to bring your child and meet the teacher. There will also be a school supply list, and bus assignment information will be included for all families who have signed up and requested bus transportation. This is the CMS school calendar for the upcoming school year, and this presentation will be shared with you guys as well so that you'll have access to the documents that are in here for reference. The first day of school for next year is on August 26th, but no kindergarten students will come to school at ELE on the 26th, and I'll be sharing the staggered entry schedule with you in just a few moments. Staggered entry is a process in which a small group of students from each kindergarten class attend school just one day during that first week of school. And this helps us have a smaller group of students in the classroom so that the students can learn about the school routines and the teachers can complete some basic entry assessments, such as recognizing letters and what letter sounds children already know, And then the administrative team can use this information to make adjustments to class placements as needed. So kindergarten students will be assigned to a class, and that information will come in the mailing packet in mid-August. But there are times when we need to make changes to those class assignments due to changes in enrollment. And so if anything like this happens, we will communicate directly with families, but that's also a part of what can happen during that staggered entry week. So this is the schedule for staggered entry. You could take a picture of this schedule if you'd like, or it will be listed on the ELE webpage. But as you can see, no kindergarten students come to school on the first day of school. This helps us get our first through fifth graders into school and back acclimated to the routines. And that gives us time to focus on our kindergarten entry on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So students with last names A through G will come on Tuesday and then again on Friday during the first week of school. And it's the same for each group of last names. And if there is some issue with travel or childcare and it will not be possible for your child to attend on their staggered entry day, you will be able to reach out to your child's teacher through email once you get that welcome packet in August to see if you're able to arrange for your child to come on a different day for staggered entry. If you are on the meeting and you have not registered for school yet, online registration is open now through June 24th, and we encourage you to go ahead and start that registration as soon as possible. This helps us ensure that our staffing can be adequate for the number of students that we have attending school. Our families are also invited to complete a parent input form that our administrative team uses to create class and teacher assignments. This form is available on the school webpage in the kindergarten family information section. And once Ms. Daniels begins talking about the kindergarten day, I'm also going to add a link in the chat to this parent information form. The form is optional, but this is a chance for you to tell us about what you think we need to know to make the best class placement for your child next year. The kindergarten supply list will also be posted on the ELE website this summer. And our PTA offers an option to purchase a pre-made supply kit. When you come for the family tour tomorrow evening, there will be a flyer with ordering information in that packet, and that is also available on the kindergarten family information page. The supply kit orders must be placed by June 2nd, and those will be delivered to the school and available in your child's classroom at the start of the school year. If for some reason you are not able to attend the family tour tomorrow night, we are asking that you find another time after Thursday to stop by the school during school hours to pick up their welcome packet, because there's some more important information there that you'll want to have before the start of the school year. Information for kindergarten families will continue to be posted on the ELE kindergarten on the web page on our website. And we will also share information through the ELE PTA Facebook page. So that's something that you could go ahead and start following now so that you could see what types of information is shared via social media. Sometime in July, your email addresses and phone numbers will be added to our Parent Square communication. And that's when you'll be able to start receiving direct communication from the school about the upcoming year. So I recommend that you set a calendar reminder or do something else to remind yourself to check in on the kindergarten page on the ELE website to make sure that you have all of the information and are staying up to date before we're able to get you into our communication system. Our assistant principal wasn't able to join us at this time, and so I'm going to go through some of the information about transportation. And bus transportation is provided for all students who are registered within our school zone through the Alpha Routes system. and you must make a request for a bus assignment if you would like for your child to be assigned to a bus. And the best thing is to go ahead and get ahead with this process. So tomorrow night, you will get a flyer that gives you the instructions for registering for an account on the Alpha. You'll get a label on your family information packet that includes your child's student ID number. That ID number is required to register for the bus transportation. The bus transportation also will default to the home address. And so the first request is made to your home. And if you need to make changes to request an alternate stop for a daycare or for some other reason, you will be able to manage that through the Alpha Portal system. I know it can be a little scary to think about putting your kindergartner on the bus or receiving your kindergartner off the bus, but we do closely monitor our students as they are coming in the mornings and then as we load them on the buses in the afternoon to make sure that we are putting the students on the correct bus. You can also download the Here Comes the Bus app so that you can track your child's bus, and that's something you'll get more information about closer to the start of the school year. I'm going to play a little video just so that you can see what it looks like, obviously in a fast motion way during our morning, no, this is dismissal, during our afternoon pickup. So we have a specific carpool procedure, and if you are using car transportation, you will get more information about that in August, and we'll ask you to watch a training video and then certify that you understand the process so that we can make sure that our dismissal and arrival is safe for students. If you need childcare for your child, the CMS elementary schools offer an after-school enrichment program, and ELE does have an ASEP program. That information, including registration for the new school year, should be available on the ASEP webpage in early June. That can be found on the CMS webpage under the Families section. We also have many local child care centers who are already set up to pick up students at ELE and transport them to their after-school program. You can see here the list of current centers. And if you have a center that you already have a relationship with, then you can talk with your child care provider to see if they may be able to provide transportation, and they can communicate with the school about setting up for van pickup for their child care center. You'll also be able to get a list of our current school pickups and relationships with child care centers when you're here for the school tour. We have some very strict security procedures at our school, and one of the main processes that we use is a sign-in procedure through a system called Lobby Guard. So please know that anytime you visit the school, you will need to bring a current photo ID with you. And this helps us make sure that every adult that comes through the door goes through a screening process before they are in the school and interacting with our students or participating in our volunteer program. We also ask that you register as a CMS volunteer. This helps us expedite the sign-in process for school events, and you can do this by visiting cmsvolunteers.com. But you will need to update your profile each year to include Elizabeth Lane as one of your selected schools. So if you do go ahead and register now, just be sure to check back in August and reselect Elizabeth Lane as one of your schools so that you'll remain on our volunteer list. We have multiple methods of communicating with families, but we have one main communication platform called Parent Square, and this is a way that teachers and school staff can send out general information to families and also have a two-way messaging system with school staff, between school staff and families. the Parent Square app also offers translation, and so that's incredibly helpful if English is not your first language, and it's helpful to our school staff to have this method of communicating with the translation. Our students also bring home folders each day where information is couriered between school and home. And our teachers send out a newsletter for their grade level every other week, and those are delivered through Parent Square. We also hold parent-teacher conferences one time per year, and progress reports and report cards are sent to families each quarter. We also have a school and PTA newsletter, and I'll give you a little bit more information about that in a moment. The PTA Mini News is a weekly email update from our PTA that includes volunteer opportunities, details about upcoming events, and announcements from special area and support staff. The only way to receive the mini news is to become a member of our PTA. And so we strongly encourage all of our families to join the PTA at the beginning of the school year so that you will receive this information through the mini news. The PTA webpage is listed at the bottom, elizabethlane.memberhub.com, and you'll receive more information about this at the beginning of the year as well. As you are likely already aware, all children attending school in North Carolina must provide proof of up-to-date immunizations, and a kindergarten physical is also required, and it must be signed by a medical provider. If you already have these documents and you would like to bring them to the family tour, we will have a place that you drop them off tomorrow night. Those can also be sent to our school nurse through email or brought to school in August. And North Carolina law does require that children who do not have their immunizations up to date or their physical form, that they are excluded from school if this is not completed within the first 30 days of school. So we ask that you go ahead and work on that over the summer to make sure that we have everything in place. If your child has medications that are needed at school, a CMS medication authorization form must be completed by the doctor and the parent, and this includes any type of over-the-counter medications that your child might need at school. There will be more information available about this at the beginning of the school year, and our school nurse will also be here tomorrow night during the family tour if you have any quick questions about the medication at school process. Our school nurse also manages chronic illnesses, and she is the person that will help set up a plan to support your child if they have conditions such as diabetes, asthma, or severe allergies. Ms. Lattimore's email is down at the bottom of this slide, and it's also on our school webpage. And you can reach out at any point to let her know that you have a child who will be coming with a chronic illness so that she can go ahead and get information from you to help with creating our school plan. All of the forms and information that are specific to our school are added and updated to the Elizabeth Lane webpage. And now I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Daniels to share information about a day in the life of a kindergartner at ELE.
Hi, good morning. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking your time to join us and learn about kindergarten. I am the K-2 facilitator, like Ms. Lael said. I'm also a current parent here, and I have two that have been through this school, and I bet they would tell you to this day it's one of their favorite places, and they probably still wish they were here. It is truly a place where kids are loved. So welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're here again. I know we have lots of repeat families. This is what a typical daily schedule looks like. I think as a parent, you're probably adding up the hours and thinking, wow, this is a long day. And you're exactly right. It is a long day. A lot of it focuses on literacy in the beginning. A lot of it is focused on transitions and just getting acclimated. We have EL is our reading curriculum, and that's how we teach reading comprehension and the actual act of reading. We have 4 main units, and I won't even go into all of that now because we will do that when you get back at school for curriculum night and when you're ready to hear all that information. But just know that's our curriculum for reading. This is our math curriculum. It is a brand new adopted curriculum. And as a middle school parent, or if you are a middle school parent in CMS, this is the curriculum the middle school is using. So now the curriculum will be kindergarten through 8th grade. And these are just the general units that your children will be studying. And again, we will get more into curriculum when you are here in the fall. One thing that might look a little bit different, especially from when I went to kindergarten, is it's really hands-on. You know, they've definitely moved in the way where we want thinkers and problem solvers. The world has calculators and computers to answer questions, and what we need are problem solvers. And so that's what we start doing in grades as young as kindergarten. Specific feedback for your child. This is probably one of your biggest adjustments if you are a new parent to kindergarten or if this is your oldest child. I know at the daycares and the preschool, you're in constant contact with the teacher. This is probably your biggest adjustment. You get progress reports 4 times a year and report cards will go home also 4 times a year. We have parent conferences for everybody once a year. And the biggest adjustment is you just don't get the daily or the weekly feedback. What we do is every other week we have a newsletter with the specific skills. Of course, if you need additional parent conferences after the initial one, we offer them. But that's definitely the biggest adjustment. What we do is we invite you in to celebrate our learning with you. So this might be how we end a unit is you would come join us. And these are our current kindergartners sharing their tree books with their parents. So that's where we invite all parents in to join us for celebrations. This is specials. Every single day, our students will go to one of these specials. It's typically for 45 minutes and they're exposed to different things. The 2 that are a little unique to us are Minds in Motion is definitely one that is unique to Elizabeth Lane and, well, not unique, media. Most kids go to media, but we have a media specialist that runs a class and reads to kids and exposes them to all kinds of things. Preparing for kindergarten. I get this question probably more than anything is like, what do I do to get my kid ready for school? Read to your child, read with them. It has an enormous impact on their literacy success and their social development and their growth. It boosts early literacy skills. If a kid can hear a word over and over that you're reading to them, they're most likely down the road going to be able to decode or read that word because they've heard it so many times for you and it's in their schema and their knowledge. It helps develop language and literacy skills. It builds background knowledge and it fosters a love of reading. Like if you act like reading a book and going to the library is the biggest privilege and the most exciting thing, that's how they're going to feel about it too. So that's my number 1 tip. Preparing for kindergarten, if you read already and you're like, okay, what's next? You can rote count. There's songs to do this with. Sometimes you can do it when you're stepping or moving. Building blocks and Legos are great. Draw with paint if you're an adventurous type of parent. Markers, crayons, glue, cut, like the fine motor, anything where they're using their hand and building those muscles in their fingers will help them when we get to handwriting. Provide opportunities to be creative. I think is always great at this age. Okay, these are some big ones. Practice taking turns. I know when my child entered, he was an only child, so taking turns was harder for him. So that's something we had to work on. Following 2-step directions, that's also hard. We have to talk slow and celebrate when they get 1 step and then move up to 2. Cleaning up is always a huge help to your future kindergarten teacher. On the emotional side, let them problem solve. I think we live in such a quick world that sometimes we solve the problems for them so quickly. Let them struggle and ask them, what do you think we should do next? What's my next step? And then also having confidence, praise them when they do a good job or try something new. And a big word is to persevere, because they're going to be in a big world where they're going to have to do things on their own. So it's okay to fail, like Miss Lael said. We get back up and we try again. So those are some things you can work on this summer or now. Lunchtime. This is probably one of the bigger adjustments for kindergarten students coming in, and I'll have a station that you come to tomorrow to learn a little bit more in detail. But here's some things you can do at home. Little packets like of crackers or cookies or those little chews, they have a tiny little slit on the top. Teach them to look for that little slit on the top and learn how to open their own packets. That would be a huge help, and make sure they know how to use their water bottle. Sometimes that's a little bit harder than expected, and sometimes they're really shy in the beginning of the year, and even though we have so many helping hands, they won't raise their hand for help. And so if you teach them how to use their whole lunchbox and like how to open the things as best as they can, then they're going to feel a little more successful and they're going to eat, so you'll have a happier kid at the end of the day. Just be mindful of what you're putting in the lunchbox if you pack their lunch. And some parents I've heard really smart that they practice lunch boxes the week before school. So like they pack a lunch, they ask their kid to open the things in it, and they troubleshoot through there. Heavy water bottles definitely are a new thing we are experiencing. I know the Stanley craze is out. And the kids, I would not be popular for saying this, but the metal bottles are not ideal. They're loud, they fall, they're hard to manipulate when they're trying to hold a water bottle in a lunch tray. Our kindergarten teachers would prefer the ones that are not metal, and also smaller. We have water fountains for them to fill up. These kids are definitely the most hydrated kids ever. Water bottles are the thing, but please, 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 I know our kindergarten, it sounds so silly, but it is a really loud noise when the water bottles fall. And we just want to set them up for success also, with the larger ones being hard for them to use. This is another tip that I appreciated coming in. There are some adorable junior size backpacks, and they're so cute. And you're like, that's perfect. It fits my kid. That makes sense. However, what it does sometimes, if they're too small, it creates frustration because the kids can't fit everything. They just don't have the fine motor that we have as adults. So zipping up, and like eventually they'll earn things like they can get stuffed animal day, and they'll bring their stuffed animals, and the little junior ones don't fit those things. So just take my advice on this one. When shopping for your first book bag, make it a little bit bigger, not the junior size. Thank you so much again for taking the time. I'm always here. I'll see you tomorrow if you're here, and welcome to the family.
Thank you, Ms. Daniels. I am going to stop sharing our slides now so that we can open up for questions. And I'm also going to put the link for that family input form in the chat for you guys. If you have a question, I can't see everyone's faces, so it might be easiest if you just go ahead and unmute and jump in if you have a question for the team.
What is the I think it was Minds in Motion specialty? What is that?
So the Minds in Motion class is, it's a combination of some different things. Our PE teacher is the one who helped get Minds in Motion started, and our original focus was on giving kids a chance for more movement during the week, and so they work on gross motor skills and fine motor skills. This year, they have also added into the Minds in Motion a little bit of practicing with some skills such as mindfulness to help students with self-management. And so the Minds in Motion class is a combination of really what we see that our students need. In the upper grades, we've added in things like additional science and STEM opportunities, but for kindergarten, it's mostly focused on movement.
That's great. Thank you.
I see you mentioned an open house about 2 weeks before school starts. The activity for tomorrow night, is there a similar event that you're going to offer, or is tomorrow night the only opportunity for that?
Tomorrow night is the only specific tour that is geared toward incoming kindergartners, but we do have another school tour that is designed for prospective families. I believe that one is on May 10th. But the date should be listed on our school calendar on our school webpage, and anyone is welcome to join in that tour. That one is during the school day, so it does give you a chance to see the school day while the rest of the students are here in action. And also the open house information, you'll receive that about 2 weeks before the start of school, but the open house date is typically the week right before school starts, usually Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday of the week before school starts. And we coordinate that with the middle and high schools before we set the date, but we'll get those out to you as soon as we know when those are.
I saw a water bottle question. If the metal water bottle is where your family lands, I would just recommend a smaller one they can handle. Whatever you feel comfortable having your child drink water out of is absolutely fine. Just make sure it's small so they can feel successful. And someone asked also, would there be another night like this? And I wasn't sure what this meant, meaning this will
I
be
think she
recorded.
just, no,
That was
I
my
think she
question.
just
Thank
asked
you.
that
Yeah.
one. Yeah. And then I see the comment about the plastic water bottles and concerns with those. And so if you're choosing the metal water bottle, they do have some that have some type of wrap around them that make them a little bit easier to manage. And so we certainly aren't going to we would not forbid students from using any other kind, but the noise is really loud, and it's scary when that happens in the hallway. So we appreciate if you find some way to help it be a little more user friendly for the kindergartners. Children can walk home from school with an adult. And there is a process at the beginning of the year when you get all of that information to you'll submit the family's address, and that's what our safety team uses to make sure that it's in the safe walk zone. And then for our students in kindergarten through second grade, we do ask that an adult meets the child at school. Some of our older students are given permission to walk to and from school independently. And that will all be included. It's called walker information that you'll get at the beginning of the school year. And we do have a bike rack as well. Again, that would need to be with an adult for our younger students. And I did place in the chat a link to the kindergarten parent input form. So if you want to grab that link now, it's available. And if not, if you're not able to get it now, it will be on the ELE webpage. And then I see a question about staggered entry, and the staggered entry schedule is included in this presentation, and I'm going to email that out. So if you receive this link through email, you will get the presentation slides so that you don't have to watch the whole video, but the video will be available on the school webpage with the explanations. But staggered entry is just so that we have smaller groups of kindergartners attending school during the first few days of school to give a smaller adult to child ratio while the kids are learning the routines. And so kindergartners will come in small groups either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday of the first week of school according to their last name. And then all kindergartners will come together for their first official day on Friday of the first week of school. And then worried about the kindergartners getting lost in the building. So during the first week of school, we have adult volunteers who are helping us in the mornings. And then after that first week of school, we start using our student leaders to help. And we go through a process of showing the students the way and then letting the students show us the way to their class. And we have shape and color codes on the hallways that help our students identify their hallway at the beginning of the year. And the best thing about our school for little ones is that it's a half circle, and you'll see this tomorrow night. And so when they first start, we just teach them, just keep going and you'll get back to the office. You'll get back to where you started. So as long as they don't go out a door, they're going to get back. And along the way, they're going to find someone who will help them. And staggered entry days are full days for the kindergartners, and they can use bus transportation on those days if they are assigned to a bus. And the typical student ratio in kindergarten classes in a normal year, it would typically be 18 to 19 students in a kindergarten class. We had a unique year this year, and so our kindergarten classes started out with about 13 or 14 students, but we had a teacher who was going on maternity leave, and so we were able to keep it that way so that while she was on leave, we could take care of her students. But I'm anticipating for next year, anywhere 17 to 20 students in a kindergarten class will be typical. You guys are great, very efficient. I can tell that you learned a lot about being in online meetings during COVID days, I think. So we are going to close out this meeting if there are no additional questions, but like Ms. Daniels said, we'll be here tomorrow night giving more information at the family tour, and then you're welcome to reach out to Ms. Daniels through email if you have additional questions between now and the start of school. When we do those assessments at the beginning of the year, I just saw this question come in. We do not use those assessments to ability group the students. We use that assessment information to help the teachers get information about where they need to start working with children, and also to just track their progress from beginning of year to end of year. So our students are all placed in classes before we have that information. And they're placed in classes based on trying to balance out the number of boys and girls and other demographics like that. We do not have a student at school who speaks Russian, but we do have other students who speak Russian, and we have many students who speak different languages. And so we have translation apps that we can use, and our ESL teacher is really helpful in supporting families who speak a different language than English, and helping with communication in the classroom. Well, thank you again for joining us. I will send these meeting slides to you guys through email, and then we'll be posting the recorded version of the meeting on the school webpage if you need to go back and refer to anything. And again, we hope that you can join us tomorrow night, and we can't wait to meet your children and welcome you guys to Elizabeth Lane.
Thank you, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.